Hey there, folks. Welcome back. This is what we call hour two, usually. I have a really special guest right now. We would have put him in hour one, but we couldn't squeeze it in quickly enough. I'm talking about Steve Deace. He's been on this program before. Some of you know who he is. Some of you know, because we've been talking about it like crazy, that he's the guy behind Nefarious, the film that Albin and I both have been raving about, although we haven't seen it. Just kidding. We saw it, and we just thought it was so terrific that we've been talking about it a lot. What some of you know, if you listen to this program, is that there's this thing called spiritual warfare. When you do something really, really powerful for God, usually the satanic enemy doesn't like it, and you get some pushback. That's actually a good thing. It shows you're over the target. Steve Deace was hospitalized while he was promoting this film. I'll let him tell the story. He was hospitalized again. Steve Deace, my friend, congratulations on everything, and I'm just really thrilled to be looking at you, that you're out of the hospital and you're able to do a show like this. As someone who's prayed for you and exhorted others to do the same, I am really just thrilled to see you back in the land of the living. God bless you, my friend, and welcome.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, and appreciate all those prayers. I mean, I felt them in the hospital Friday afternoon. I mean, I was as demoralized and discouraged as I've ever been. And Eric, literally 10 minutes before I started talking to you, I got a text from one of our other producers, our director of marketing, John Sullivan. His car was just totaled by a nursing student who fell asleep. Luckily, he just had gotten out of his car. 2 days ago, an hour after I got out of the hospital, one of our other producers, Chris Jones, Eric, texted me that he nearly got killed by a car. He was putting his infant son, Judah, in his car seat in a parking lot. An SUV came out of nowhere, took the door of his car off, totaled it, missed him by inches. This is just getting, at this point, this is getting insane. Frankly.
Okay. Now, there's a lot to unpack here. I never listen to podcasts. I just don't have time. A lot of people listen to this show as a podcast. They say, Eric, I listen to your podcast. And I was like, well, I do a radio show. It's also a podcast. But yesterday, I listened to your podcast. And I mean it. I never listen to podcasts. But I listened to your podcast, which you made when you got out of the hospital the second time in Rochester at the airport hotel in Rochester. I was so moved by what you said. I want to talk to you about it. It's not why I'm having you on the air today. I wanted to just get you on the air to talk about what happened before that. And all these things that have happened since then. Suddenly, I want to talk about that too. So, Steve, let's help our audience. First of all, let's say one thing. I know, you know it, you said it in your podcast, the enemy has nothing. So he has to try to scare us and lie to us and whatever, like, oh, if you mess with me, you'll get killed. Well, evidently, no. Here you are, Steve Deace, John Sullivan, alive, your other producer, alive. But the enemy likes to rattle our cages and scare us. And the worst thing that could ever happen to him is if we could say, you're only emboldening me to do what God has called me to do. You're proving to me I'm over the target. You have lived this. And when people live this, they become a hero to those who are looking for inspiration. So you are a hero to me and to others who are looking for inspiration for doing some of the stuff you're doing. And you're not doing it to be a hero. That's EACE, the man behind the film and the book Nefarious. Steve, you've been through hell, and before we skip to the second part of the hell that you've been through, I want to talk about... Welcome back, folks. I have the joy and the privilege of speaking to Steve Deace, who I'm just thrilled to see, Steve, because you've been through hell. There was no indication that you'd be out of the hospital and able to do anything like this. I'm going to say it's a miracle. It's at least a major blessing from God that you're on your feet and able to talk after the hell you've been through. You were just talking to us about this dark night of the soul. You're alone in an unpleasant place, in a strange hospital. Your wife is forced to leave. It's you and the Lord. And you said that you had this compulsion. You woke up at 9 o'clock after just an hour's sleep that you had to walk. And that just seems like, that seems like God, because you think, what is that? Where does that come from? But you just had this kind of compulsion, and you get them to unhook the IVs, whatever, and let you walk. And they let you do this for an hour and another hour. Hey there, folks. We're talking about the spiritual battle we're all in. I was saying, Steve, to you just now that yesterday I was going through a dark night of the soul, which is rare for me, and I was speaking to a friend about it. He is really going through it, and it's just so interesting how the Lord spoke to you in that hospital. Tell us more about that experience of walking with God and God speaking to you.
I mean, I'm not wearing any shoes. I have been on my back basically for about 12 hours. I mean, I just felt weightless, and I didn't want it to end. Actually, I mean, it just felt whole. It just felt on mission. It felt fulfilling. I don't know how else to describe it.
So during these 3 hours, you're alone in the middle of the night in a hospital, walking around, and you just felt this unique presence with God. And anybody who's experienced that on any level, you never want it to end. You don't want it to end, and it does end, but you don't want it to end. You're in this kind of bubble of eternity with God, and you just want to keep going. But so the Lord is graciously teaching us all these things right now. He's allowing us to go through the hell of what is happening in this country, to wake up those who might be awakened, the holy remnant who might be awakened, who understand that it is about God. If you want to save America, you need to know that without God, forget it. We never would have come into existence in the first place, and we better get right with Him, and we better focus on Him. The film is a triumph. Congratulations on the film Nefarious. I assume it's still in some theaters at this point.
We are still in hundreds of theaters around the country. It's on a day-to-day basis, Eric. It is literally a battle of holding on to individual theaters around the country.
Okay,
literally.
so ladies and gentlemen,
warfare.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't yet gone to a theater,